Hello, everybody.
This is a citation. It was issued on May 10th of this year on M89 there in Gunplain Township, Allen County, State of Michigan. This is for violation of seatbelt law. Miss Knowlton, you're here on this citation to do one of three things. First is you could admit responsibility to the citation, or two, you wish to admit responsibility but provide some sort of explanation to court as to how or why this happened. Or three, you wish to contest this citation. In other words, fight this ticket at what we call informal hearing. What were you looking to do?
To do an informal hearing to fight that ticket.
All right. Then the first thing I'm going to do is swear you both in. If you could both raise your right hands. You swear or affirm that any information you give here today would be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir. I do.
All right, Ms. Knowlton. It makes a lot more sense for me to start with the deputy. He has the burden to establish to me why you were issued the citation in the first place. But after that, you'll have an opportunity to either ask questions or testify on your own behalf. All right?
Okay.
And with that, Deputy, if you want to pick up the narrative somewhere where it makes sense, explain the issuing of this citation.
Yes, good morning. My name is John Paul Danveld. I work with the Allen County Sheriff's Office, and on May 10th at just before 1 o'clock, about 12:56 p.m. I was sitting on M89 near Acorn Street in Gunplain Township. And that day I was working a directed patrol for safety belt enforcement. I was parked stationary in a parking lot on the south side of M89. I observed a silver Chevy pickup truck pulling a trailer traveling eastbound. As it went by, I noticed that there was a female sitting in the front passenger seat. It appeared that she was leaning forward or sitting rather closer to the dash of the vehicle. While doing so, I did observe that the shoulder strap that would be going over top of her right shoulder was not there. It was clearly obvious that there wasn't a shoulder strap that was visible above her shoulder. I had pulled out to intercept that vehicle to conduct a traffic stop. The vehicle turned down actually their road and it pulled over in front of their house. I'd made contact with the driver, which was Miss Knowlton's husband, and as well as Miss Knowlton as a passenger. I explained the reason for the stop and why I was working that enforcement that day. She had explained that she was originally leaning forward and the belt was out of the way so she could lean forward. After talking to her further, she said that the belt was on, but because of her body, it's uncomfortable where the belt rests against her chest, and that she usually leaves it a little bit lower. And explained to me that's why the shoulder strap was not above her shoulder. I explained to Miss Knowlton that the law says that they are required to wear a belt and wear it properly. And that is my directed patrol that day, was strictly looking for those violations. I came back up after going back to my car and I issued her citation number SD 27272 for the passenger violation of the seatbelt law. Should be noted that both her and her husband were extremely cooperative and cordial with me. That's all I have, Your Magistrate.
Okay. And Ms. Knowlton, what is it you'd like to tell me?
As you stated that I was bent down when I went over, I always wear my seatbelt. I have never not wore a seatbelt. I am very adamant on wearing a seatbelt. In our truck, it is very tight against my chest. It had slipped down over my breast area so I could bend down and get my purse, but I had it on. When I sat back up, it went back up. He just saw me as I bent down and came back up. I always had it on. I always wear a seatbelt. And that's the only reason that I'm fighting it, because I'm 50 years old. I wear my seatbelt all the time. So I was very upset that I got pulled over for a seatbelt ticket.
Ma'am, I get this quite a bit, is people that are saying, hey, you know, my lap belt is on, my shoulder belt, I either put it behind me or put it underneath me because it's uncomfortable. But the way the statute is written, the way the law is the seatbelt has to be worn the way the manufacturer intended it for it to be worn. Any of that, messing around with the strap, either sort of, putting it behind you and just having the lap belt, or like you said, putting it down below, is essentially the same as you not wearing your seatbelt.
I didn't put it below, it just went over when I bent down. I didn't do anything with it was on me and it's on tight. So it just slipped a little bit when I bent down and came up. It never was below. I didn't pull it. I didn't put it behind, none of that. It was on the way it was supposed to be. I just bent down what he saw and then I came up. So
They don't do that. They absolutely don't do that.
I didn't do anything to the seatbelt. It was on the correct way. I just bent down and sat up. And when I went over the tracks, that's what he saw, was me bending down and coming up.
All right. Well, ma'am, that's not really the way that seatbelts work, right?
What do you mean?
When you bend full, when you put pressure on the shoulder strap, it doesn't get loose. If anything, it tightens up. Sometimes it will stop you being able to move it all together. What it doesn't do is what you described.
No, exactly. I didn't move. There was no moving. He just saw me bend down and come up. Our seatbelt's so tight that I can't even, it's stuck. So there was no moving of the seatbelt. So I don't know what he saw, but I always have my seatbelt on, and I didn't take the seatbelt off.
What about your conversation with him afterwards?
That it's so tight. I showed him how it was so tight on me that it doesn't move.
All right. So I've heard the evidence for what is called informal hearing. I have to find that the officer has met the statutory requirements for issuing the citation. I would find that those requirements were met. I would find you responsible, ma'am, for not wearing your seatbelt in correct fashion at this date and time. Now, because I found you responsible, that does in fact trigger your rights to appeal this decision. If you wish to appeal this decision, you must do two things. First of all, you must ask for this formal hearing, the next kind of hearing in front of the district court judges with the prosecutor's office. You must ask for that within 7 days of today's date. That window of opportunity to contest this further closes after 7 days. And second, you must come in to ask for that in person, because you would need to post a cash bond in the same amount as the fine. You understand your rights on appeal?
Yes.
All right. Then we're all set for what we needed to do here today. I'm going to go ahead and release parties. Thank you.
Thank you, Magistrate.
Good afternoon. Your name?
Caitlin Travis.
Mr. Travis, you're here on a misdemeanor file 240695 SM. I'm going to read it to you.
Taylor Michelson appearing on behalf of Ms. Travis for purposes of arraignment. We've reviewed the charges and waive a formal reading. Ms. Travis will enter a plea of not guilty and does not qualify for a court-appointed attorney.
Okay. So, ma'am, you understand that means that you either represent yourself or you need to hire an attorney on this matter, all right?
Okay.
Now, this would normally always get PR bonds. It's a misdemeanor. It doesn't have a PR bond because you already missed court date on it. But if you're here telling me, of course, you understand the importance of making your court dates, I will give you another shot at a PR bond.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
By myself.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it to you. These are the kinds of cases where you don't have to sit in jail waiting for your court dates. Right now, you're going to have to sit in jail and wait for your court dates. But the only reason that happened is because you already didn't show up once for court. So if right now you tell me, oh, I won't do that again, I promise I will show up for court, I'll give you another shot at not being in jail in between your court dates. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yes.
All right. So what are you going to tell me? What's that?
Give you another shot to appear at your court date, but I'm like, I'll defend myself.
Sure. So you're telling me, yes, I promise I will show up for my court date, right?
Yes.
All right. I want to make sure you understand. So I'm gonna let you back out. $300 PR bond. If you miss another court date, guess what's going to happen to that PR bond? It's going to go away and you're going to sit in jail in between your court dates, and you're going to end up getting more jail waiting for this than you ever would get on it. Does that make sense to you? You understand me?
Right.
All right. We'll just wish you luck. So you're going to get a next court date in courtroom A in front of Judge Scotchless when you leave jail. You need to make sure you are here for that court date, at least by Zoom or in person, right?
Yes.
All right.
What's the bond?
300 PR. You're all set, ma'am.
Go sit down. Over here. You're done. No, done. You're done. Your Honor, Wharton is not here.
Okay. Mr. Lovers, you able to hear me?
This
Yes,
is
sir.
cute.
This says that on May 2nd of this year on Pine Street there in the city of Wayland, that you were driving while your driving privileges with Secretary of State were either suspended or revoked. That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or $500 fines and costs. Understanding that charge, do you wish to enter a plea, sir? You can't vape while you're in court.
Who?
Not guilty.
You, sir. You're
This
in
ain't no.
court.
I was picking my teeth. I was just picking meat out my teeth. This is
all
sport.
right. I just saw you. People do
No,
it
I
all
don't.
the time, and I gotta tell them all the time. You gotta do all the same things you would do in court. All right, I take it back. All right, Mr. Lovers, knowing that you're charged here with driving while license suspended, do you want to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty on that charge?
I'm not guilty.
All right. Should that go all the way to trial, do you wish to have that trial in front of a jury or in front of a judge?
Judge, please.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a PR bond as well, so you don't have to post any money. That is no driving without a valid driver's license. So is this a good address for you?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. Then you are all set. You will get a next court date along with new Zoom instructions sent out to you in the mail. That'll be the next time that you're doing court, at least by Zoom. And the first time you get to talk to someone from the prosecutor's office that you can wheel and deal with you. But you are all set for today. You can go ahead and go.
Alrighty, thank
All
you
right,
very
Mr.
much.
McClinton, you're able to hear
Yes,
me,
sir.
right? It
Yes.
says on May 6th of this year on US 131 there in Door Township that you were driving without a valid driver's license. That is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and or $300 fines and costs. Understanding that charge, do you wish to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty to that charge at this time?
Yeah, I was guilty. I was guilty at the time. That's true. I was driving without. I got my stuff now.
Well, let me listen to me for a second. So you guys are able to plead guilty in front of me, but I can't make plea deals with you. So if you plead guilty in front of me, you have to plead guilty as charged. If what you were really looking to do is talk to someone about your case, show them that you fixed it now, or try to get a lesser charge or something like that, that might be possible. But it's not possible at arraignment. There are no prosecutors here. If that's what you wanted to do, you would plead not guilty today. That does mean you'd have to come back to court at least one more time over Zoom. But that next time, what we call pre-trial, that's the first time you get to talk to someone from the prosecutor's office. That's who can wheel and deal with you. So I'll just ask you again, Mr. McClinton, you can plead now in front of me, straight up plead guilty to it. Or especially if you're saying you fixed it, you could come back another time, try to talk to a prosecutor, see if they'd offer you some kind of deal. I'd leave that up to you.
Oh, okay. Well, I just plead guilty because I know I got to pay the fine. So
All right. Anybody force you or threaten you to make you plead guilty?
no.
And are you pleading guilty to this because you believe you are guilty of this?
Yes, I was driving with no license at the time.
All right. So I do find that that is a factual basis to accept your plea and that your plea is knowing and voluntary. It would just be fines and costs at this point. What we mean by that is a $20 fine. With that is $50 statutory cost, crime victims' rights fee of $75, and a state cost of $50. It's a total of $195. I wrote right on there, you have 90 days to pay that. If you need more time than that, that is okay, but you have to call the court separately and ask to get put on a payment plan. Other than that, you were all set. You can go ahead and go.
Thank you.
And next case I've got is sorry.
Hey, Your Honor.
I've been sitting here practicing your name because it's an unusual name.
Thank you,
And
Your Honor.
when it comes down to it, I just screw it up. I apologize.
I've had 27 years of practice, Your Honor, so I'm still getting it.
It's oh boy.
It's Ecclesiastes. It's Hebrew. It's an Old Testament in the Bibles, Your Honor.
Well, I recognize it's definitely some sort of a religious name. Yes. And it's Calexti?
Calexti, Your Honor, yes.
All right. Good morning, sir.
I love him. I absolutely love him.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Okay, we are going to quash the warrant on your case this morning. And I'm going to schedule a new date for you to come in and take care of some business on this, okay?
Okay.
You got something to write this down with?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you're going to be July 9.
Yes, Your Honor.
At 10:30 in the morning.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's going to be in person here at the courthouse. You'll be in courtroom number 6.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you get the courtroom number?
No. 6?
Yep, courtroom 6.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And
Yes, Your Honor.
you might want to give your attorney's office a call. Let them know that you are on the docket for the 9th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All righty, sir. You have a great day. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
Okay. Next case I've got is Caleb Polzel.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm right here. Good morning.
You are Caleb Michael Polzel, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Sir, we're going to quash the warrant on your case this morning. And we're going to schedule a probation hearing for you. You got something to write the date down with?
I do indeed.
Okay, we're going to schedule it for July 11.
All right.
That's going to be at 2 o'clock in the morning.
July 11?
No, not 2 o'clock in the morning. It'll be 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I knew what you meant, sir.
Okay. I didn't want you showing up at 2 a.m. You know, that would be bad.
Yeah, that might go poorly.
Yeah. You'd have a little bit of a wait. So we got it July 11 at 2 p.m. That's going to be in person here at the courthouse. And you'll be in courtroom number 4.
All right.
Okay.
Courtroom 4.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
All right. You have a good day. We'll see you on the 11th.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Yep.
Okay, those last two I just had to throw in because they were absolutely adorable. And I love Ecclesiastes. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.